When he switches to sax, it really overpowers the mix because I have it on the flutes and Daniel.
There's 6 pages, right?
I don't know.
What are you missing, Leo?
6 pages. That's okay.
I don't think there is a 6th page.
4, 5.
There is? Oh, there is.
Oh, it has 5 bars. 6.
Okay. It's the same motif, and it just slows down and gets softer. That's fine. Okay. Between 6 and... You're not on yet.
We're just going to wait a few more moments because, as you see, people are they've bravely fought the traffic, and we want to give them a chance to come in. Right?
Okay.
No coaching.
No coaching about one.
Okay, so we're live. We are live now. We are now live on television. I want all of you to know, so, be careful what you say and how you say it and how you look when you're saying it. Okay. No. So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone here at our beautiful patio at the Irmas campus. The birds, they're coming. They're on their way. They'll be joining us in song momentarily. And hello, everyone. Shabbat Shalom to everyone out there viewing us virtually.
So I want to start with a beautiful reading that I found. If you always assume the person sitting next to you is the Messiah, waiting for some simple human kindness, you will soon come to weigh your words and watch your hands. And if he or she so chooses not to reveal themselves in your time, it will not matter. So, with the possibility that the person next to you is the Messiah, I want you to wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
We never know. So we're so happy to be with you this evening. It's just a beautiful early evening, late afternoon to welcome in Shabbat. How good it is to be together. Hinema Tovu Manaim, page 10.
Hinema Tovu Manaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinema Tovu Manaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinema Tov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinema Tov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinema Tovu Manaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinema Tovu Manaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinema Tov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinema Tov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
So sometimes people ask me if Jews believe in angels. And in fact, the Kabbalah is filled with angels, all kinds of angels. There are hierarchies of angels. Some last forever, they are eternal, and some are just appear fleetingly, and they have a message. And the Kabbalah says that the most common angel just has one message for you: to be in the world, to live. And the Kabbalah also says that everyone has a guardian angel that is watching over you and protecting you and trying to guide you. And Shalom Aleichem is a story about a song about welcoming the Shabbat angels, who are very special angels. And there's this story that two angels come to every house on Shabbat and they look inside. And if the house is filled with light and happiness and people are eating and enjoying, the one angel says, "May it always be this way." I feel the second angel is challenging us when they see that the house is cold and dark and empty. Not that it should be this way, but will you keep it this way, or will you bring in the blessings of Shabbat? So let's welcome in the angels of Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem on page 24.
Join together. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Moachem L'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Malchuni L'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidechem L'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So tonight, I have a really close friend who's visiting me from San Francisco. This is a woman that I've known we've known each other since our 20s. I went to her wedding, and I remember when her daughter was born, but because of COVID and other things, we haven't seen each other in a long time. And she came over with her daughter this afternoon, and her daughter walked in, and I was like, oh my God, it's my friend. And I got all confused because it looked like my friend when we were in our 20s. And then I saw, she's next to her. She didn't just become young overnight. But they're beautiful people, and I want to invite them, Sherry Morse and Sasha Maccabee, to come and light the Shabbat candles this evening on page 2 and 3.
You have to pray harder. It's not always easy to find the light.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
We continue on page 20 with our favorite Shabbat hymn, Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ודבר ולתהילה. לך דודי לחדדי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחדדי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם מסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לחדדי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורי קומי, אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
The Shabbat bride is also considered a queen. They call her the crown of her husband. And since Lecha Dodi and Shabbat is about a wedding, we are the groom and we are royalty with this beautiful queen as we welcome her into our midst.
בואי ושלום עטרת פעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. בואי ושלום עטרת פעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי. תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לה 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 La 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 תוכמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי. תוכמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי.
Please be seated. We continue on page 26 with the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ביל אמר ורחילותי ועלמיך מלכותי בחייכון ויומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלמון עלמי עלמיה נתברך ונשתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריך לילה מן כל ברכתך ושיערתך תושבחתך ונחמתך דמירן בעלמא ואמרו
So the word for gratitude in Hebrew is hakarat hatov, which literally means recognizing the good in every situation. And I don't know about you, but after this last year, or what is it, 16 months now, or 17, I am grateful for so many little things, so many small things, just getting up and seeing the sun shining, the air, there's no fires. I mean, there's so many things going on in the world right now. But one of the things that struck me is I'm so grateful to be here with you, to see all these familiar friends that I haven't seen for such a long time. It's so beautiful to be together. And I don't know about you, but I was alone a lot of the time during the quarantine. And so just to be in community and to be with the Cantor in person, to see everybody, it's truly overwhelming and a moment for gratitude and thankfulness. And so we're going to turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu and fill our hearts with this gratitude as we welcome God into our midst, as we call our call to prayer. Please rise.
This music to take us from Kabbalat Shabbat now into the formal service for Shabbat, which always begins with Baruch Hu.
Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'hachma poteach sha'arim, u'bitvuna mishana itim, u'machlif et hazmanim, u'misader et ha'kochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirsono. Let's read together on the bottom in English this beautiful prayer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Umavir yom umavir laila, umavdil ben yom ben laila, Adonai tzevot shemo, Elechai v'kayam, Tamid b'kaleinu le'olam v'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari v'aravim. Amen.
Page 32, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam et Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chokim u'mishpatim, otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shortenu v'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shortenu v'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha. V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. V'chayenu v'orach yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla. V'chayenu v'orach yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla. V'kiyem chayenu v'orach yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla. V'kiyem chayenu v'orach yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla. Ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch kivon malchuto le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated as we continue with the Via Hafta on page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך,
וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות מבין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
About to.
So far away. Jewish school that the rabbis, first it was that you're supposed to educate your children yourself. You're supposed to educate your children yourself, but people were working, people were poor, so the Talmud said we should install or create schools for our children, which, of course, we know in those years meant sons, but that has changed. And the first school, Jewish school, was established in 50 BCE, a public, like a town school or whatever, where children could go to be educated. That's how long we've been teaching. So that's what speaks to you. Anybody else, what is a line that's, it could be the same line, but I'm just curious. Yes, Rabbi Stan, you have a line?
Set them upon your heart before you can teach. It's got to be real to you. If you try to teach what isn't real for you, it doesn't go.
Did you all hear that? Beautiful. You have to put it in your heart first. Well, I've got, and before you can teach. Anyone else? Is there a line that speaks to you tonight? Somebody else? Yes.
Recite them when you stay at home or when you are away, when you lie down or when you get up.
Yes.
They're always meditate on God's word and have been written on our hearts. And if it's written on our hearts, then we're going to love him and our neighbor, and we're going to keep on to that in our lives.
Beautiful. So set it on your doorpost when you rise up and when you lie down. Good. Beautiful. Anyone else have a line that speaks to them in the Via Hafta? Because we read it all the time and you know it by heart. I like, putting the mezuzah up is really beautiful. I actually I wrote a little article about the mezuzah, and I did some research on the mezuzah, and it is considered kind of an amulet, but the idea is that you are aware of God's presence when you walk into your house, but also when you walk out of your house. You're supposed to touch, and the Via Hafta is in the mezuzah and the Shema. So you touch it or you kiss it, you put your hand up and you put it to your mouth, but it's to bring God into your house and take God with you when you leave your house. So I think the mezuzah is really a powerful symbol and a proud one for us to have that on our doorposts. Cantor, do you have one that you like?
It's the coupling of those two phrases which we just mentioned, right? And really, to summarize, it's God needs to be with you and in your mind always, all the time. When you're in your house, when you're not in your house, whatever you are doing, the work of your hands, the thoughts in your mind, all the time have God in your thoughts.
Okay, I'm going to just challenge you. And what does that mean to have God in your thoughts?
It means an unlimited number of things. It means that you're always paying attention to gratitude for your life.
Right. I
and
agree.
How you should be feeling in that moment. Always.
I agree. I think it's when you bring God, take God with you, what you're taking is some of the highest mitzvot of kindness, gratitude. Chesed v'rachamim are my favorite. Loving kindness and compassion. You take that with you, you're taking God with you. That's how I see it. So we continue with the song of gratitude. Though they didn't stay that grateful very long, historically, the Israelites, they were a problem, of the Micha Mocha on page 40.
We sang it together here about a month ago, this beautiful new melody by Oran Eldor, a young Israeli composer, so it'll feel like you've been singing it your whole life. Let it sound that way, too. But you read the words, so look at book. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha ba'elim. Micha mocha neda ba'kodesh. Micha mocha neda. חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Amen. The Hashkivenu is such an old prayer, and yet is still so relevant to us, asking God to shelter us in peace and protect us from all different kinds of enemies and adversaries. It's amazing, and probably the ancient Israelites, through the time of the kings, the prophets, all through the diaspora times in Israel, we still can read this prayer and relate to it. So I would like to read it in English, and then we'll sing it in Hebrew on page 42. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Please join me. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel for your name's sake to be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our coming and going to life and peace evermore. Guard our coming and going.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom, v'shalom, v'hamidenu Malkeinu v'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right.
Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Please rise for the Amidah.
First Vishamru, because it is Shabbat.
Oh, whoops.
No
Vishamru.
whoops, just Vishamru.
Just Vishamru, right? Sorry.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'dorotam berit ha'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'dorotam berit ha'olam. Beni u'ben bnei Yisrael, bnei Yisrael, bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam. V'shamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, v'dorotam berit ha'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim, et hashamayim, ve'et haaretz. V'shamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, v'dorotam berit ha'olam. O vayom hashvi'i Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat. vayom השביעי שבת שבת וינפש
ושמרו
בני ישראל
את השבת,
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Now please rise for the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai timtach ufi agit hilatecha Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Chaste Avot V'Imachot, U'Mivi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, L'Man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magin Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Ata, Rav Lehoshia, Mori Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Merachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Mekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'agevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
Take a few minutes for silent prayer or meditation. You may be seated.
Yul ratzon imrefi, Yul ratzon imrefi, V'hegyon libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'govali. May the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O
We take a moment now to remember those in our lives who need a blessing of healing, spiritual healing, physical healing, emotional healing before we say the Misha Berach. If there's someone in your life that you would like to have blessed for healing, please stand up now. And when I point to you, say their names out loud so we may all bless them.
Page 253. May the source of strength who bless before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu l'kol habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
So besides, in the Hasidic world, besides the Rebbe, who was very honored and revered, there was another popular person called a Magid, which means a person who told parables or stories, who went from town to town, gave sermons, told midrashim, because Jews love stories, and we love to tell stories. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, who was the Baal Shem Tov's grandson, he was a great storyteller. He told really fantastical stories that had all these hidden messages. So I'm going to read you a story tonight based on a question that the Kotzker Rebbe, one of the Hasidic Rebbes, was once asked is, how do I find God? Where is God? And he said, wherever you let God in, you will find God. So this story is called Finding God. Once there was a boy who asked questions. From the time he was young, he questioned everyone about everything. His questions never stopped. Every answer only gave birth to a new question. He began asking about small things, and as he grew older, his questions grew bigger. So by the time he was a young man, he sought the biggest answers of all, but there was no one in his small village who could answer these questions. You must go and see the Rebbe, his father told him. He will help you find the answers. The Rebbe was a great teacher. He knew the answers to all the biggest questions. He even knew the secrets of God. So the boy's mother packed his bag, and with a hug of love, his parents sent him away on his way. The boy arrived in the Rebbe's town and found his way to the Rebbe's school. He listened intensely to the Rebbe's lessons, thrilled at the prospect of finally finding answers. At last, he was shown in to see the Rebbe. Great Rebbe, please teach me about God, the boy pleaded. I want to learn the secrets of God. The Rebbe stared at the boy's face for some time and at last responded, I will teach you, but tell me, do you have a place to stay? A place to stay? The boy asked. I don't need a place to stay. I want to master the secrets of God. Yes, of course. But first go and find a place to stay. Then you'll learn the secrets. The boy left the Rebbe's presence. He wasn't happy about the delay, but he knew he must obey the Rebbe. He scoured the town, searching for an inn, a room, a loft. Not even a spare bed was to be found. It was a small town. No one had a room. If he wanted to stay in the town, he would have to build a place for himself. So he found a good-hearted carpenter who offered to share his skills and lend his tools, and the boy set to work building a home. He didn't know if he could do it since he had never built anything before, but he must try. He knew that, for only then would the Rebbe share his secrets. It wasn't easy. Every time he put up a wall, it fell down, and each time he covered the roof, it fell in. But he persisted. Finally, the walls stayed up, and the roof stayed up, and the windows and doors opened and shut. And the boy realized that he had built himself a home. It wasn't big, it wasn't pretty, but it was cozy and warm, and it was his. He had never thought he could do such a thing, but he'd done it. So he returned to the Rebbe. Rebbe, I built myself a home. I would never have believed I could do such a thing, but I mastered the skills, and now I have a home. Now please teach me the secrets of God. The Rebbe looked into the boy's face for some time. Finally, he said, Of course, but first tell me, do you have a job? A job? The boy asked. No, I came to learn the secrets. I have no need for a job. Go and find a job, and then we'll have plenty of time to learn together. Oh, the boy left the Rebbe. He knew he must obey the wise teacher if he ever hoped to learn the secrets of God. So he looked for a job. The village baker was advertising for an apprentice. The boy offered himself. He had never worked so hard in his life, from early in the morning until late at night, until his hands were weary and his back ached from head to toe. But he learned how to turn flour and water into fine loaves of bread and sweet cakes. He learned the joy of serving his neighbors. And when he had mastered the trade, the village baker made him a partner. On that day, the boy took a basket of his best breads and cakes and brought them to the Rebbe. Rebbe, you told me to find a place to stay, so I built a home. You told me to get a job, so I learned to bake. Look, I have brought you these fruits of my labors. Now, please, share with me the secrets I have waited so long to hear. The Rebbe looked long into the boy's face. Finally, he asked, Are you married? The Rebbe looked into the, married, asked the boy with obvious frustration. Why should I be married? I want to learn the secrets of God, not get married. Of course, said the Rebbe, but first go and get married. Then you'll learn the secrets. The boy was frustrated. He was angry, but what was he to do? How could he argue with the Rebbe? In the town, there was a girl he liked, and he suspected she liked him, so he began to spend time with her. They took walks at sunset and had picnics in the meadow. They talked about their dreams, and they fell in love. In his whole life, he had never known he could love someone so much as he loved her. He asked her to marry him, and she asked him to marry her. Their wedding was simple, but warmed by their love. She moved into his cozy home, and they shared the fruits of their labors. The boy returned to the Rebbe. Rebbe, you told me to find a place to live, so I built a home. You told me to find a job, so I learned to trade. Then you asked me to get married. I found a woman. I never knew I could love anyone as much as I love her. We are married. Now, Rebbe, please teach me the secrets of God. Do you have children? It's the Rebbe. Somehow the boy expected this. He wasn't nearly as frustrated as before. This time he just smiled. No, not yet, but if you tell me, I will obey. Good, said the Rebbe. Go and have children. Then come back and I will teach you. In his whole life, he never thought he could love someone as much as he loved his wife. He never thought he could work so hard as he worked at his trade, and he never thought he would feel as good as the day his home was complete. But then the children came, and the boy discovered that he could love even deeper and work even harder and feel even more complete than he had ever felt before. He cared for his family and gave them everything he had and everything he made, and yet he felt more happiness than he had ever known. So he returned to the Rebbe. Great Rebbe, when I came to you years ago, I asked you to teach me the secrets of God. You told me to find a place to stay, to find a job, to get married. You told me to have children. Now, Rebbe, I am ready. I have done everything you asked. Now, please teach me the secrets of God. The Rebbe stared into his face. Not quite yet. You're not ready yet. But what else do you require? The boy cried. What else? Soon you will know. And with that, the Rebbe turned back to his books. Soon after, a messenger came from the boy's village with an urgent message. The boy's grandfather was ill. The boy was needed at once. The boy rushed home. He found his grandfather weary and sick. He sat with his grandfather and they talked, sharing all that life had taught them. And when the grandfather realized that his grandson had grown into a man, learned and wise, he smiled weakly, fell asleep, and peacefully died with his grandson beside him. The boy cried with a sadness he had never felt before. He loved his grandfather and missed him so much. He knew no way to escape his loneliness and pain. He asked himself how he could ever feel good again and how he could ever find a way back to life. But as the days went by, sweet memories of his grandfather replaced some of his pain, and he found his way back to life, to his family, to his happiness, to the Rebbe. Great Rebbe, he declared, I loved my grandfather so much I never thought I could say goodbye. I never thought I could ever overcome my sadness and pain. But my grandfather taught me to love life as he did, and so I have found a way to remember him and feel happy. And now, am I ready to share the secrets of God? Yes, my son. Now you are ready to hear the secrets. The Rebbe took a deep breath. He stood and walked to the window. He stared at the sunset outside. You came here years ago looking for a God outside yourself, far away up in the universe. But the best place to find God is within, in your ability to grow, to learn, to build, to produce, to love, to share, to care, and to overcome life's pain. You need no more secrets. You have already found the God you came looking for. My son, you already know the secrets. The boy listened to every word, and he knew the Rebbe was right. Had he learned these words years before, when he first arrived, he would have slammed his fist down in frustration. But now, having done all the Rebbe had asked, he knew in his heart that the Rebbe was right. All the secrets he needed were his already. The boy remained the Rebbe's student and disciple for many years. And when the Rebbe was old and in need of rest, he turned to the boy and appointed him, the Rebbe, in his place. The new Rebbe humbly assumed his position. Soon his reputation had spread far and wide throughout the land. The new Rebbe was beyond compare. He knew all the answers to all the questions. He could answer even the biggest question. He knew the secrets of God. People came to him all over seeking the Rebbe's wisdom. And when any young person would come and say to the Rebbe, teach me, please, the secrets of God, the Rebbe would look into his face for a long time and reply, do you have a place to stay? Go find a place, then I'll share my secrets with you. Shabbat Shalom. So we all have the potential to find God, or we found God, and we didn't even know we found God. Just one announcement before we conclude our service, which is that we're planning, Cantor and I and a few others, a big service on August 6th, correct? Want to talk about it?
Sure. First of all, next Friday night services are at the Glazer campus, I believe, up on the rooftop. Then the following Friday at University campus. Then on August 6th, we'll all be back here. We're planning to do it out on the lawn. You're going to be bringing your picnic dinners. We'll have tables and blankets set out, or you can bring your own blanket. That's probably a better idea. But bring your own dinners. And it's going to involve all of the clergy from both Wilshire Boulevard Temple and University Synagogue. We're all one temple now, but just to be clear, all the clergy together, and hopefully as many of our congregants together, because the next day, the next evening, introduces the month of Elul, the month of preparation for Rosh Hashanah, so we want to make a concerted effort to bring all of our communities together as we prepare for the new year together. So that's Friday, August 6th. We're going to have an expanded band that night as well, so think of it as the Holywood Bowl.
Exactly, the Holywood Bowl, and it's called For the Love of Elul, and the theme is love. We're going to be asking people to share their love stories, so it should be wonderful. So now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to conclude with the Aleinu on page, what page is it? 282. Oh, Tisha B'Av. For goodness sake. Tomorrow night is Tisha B'Av. That's the 9th of Av. And we will be having an online special program with Rabbi Nickerson and Cantor Lisa Peacock. Tisha B'Av is a somber holiday commemorating the destruction of the first and second temple and many other disasters that befell Jews seem to happen around Tisha B'Av. And it's kind of our one day that we take time to remember and grieve, and so it should be a very beautiful holiday program tomorrow night with the Rabbi and the Cantor, and we invite you to participate in that. I'm sorry I forgot, forgive me. I was still in the story, to be honest with you.
You'll have something to prepare for. Why is this off? You'll have something to prepare for in the month of Elul.
That's right, I will. So, okay, so please rise for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, l'atei kidulah yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'arasot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamunam, v'anachnu koreim, u'mishtachavim, u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar, v'hayat Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, v'yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Now we take the time to remember those who are no longer with us as we prepare to say Kaddish. It is our tradition that anyone who is observing a Yortzeit or the Shloshim, the first 30 days, to please stand now. So we begin with remembering those who passed away during Shloshim, these past 30 days. Valentine Amid, Roger Bairstock, Anat Ben Ishai, Naomi Brennan, Maury Dickman, Joel Martin Karp, Martin Kaufman, Myron Mike Roberts, Ida Sondheimer, Tony Barrios Vega, Larry Weiner. We now remember those whose Yortzeits, the anniversaries of their deaths, took place during this past week. Lita Alkov, Sophia Allenberg, David Astor, Muriel Bartmasser, Jim Bayer, Tilly Becker, Judah Beresowski, Rose Stern Burlfine, Milton Berman, Max Brandis, Jonathan Paul Brody, Joyce Mullery Clark, Miriam Cohen, Wolf Davidoff, Maria Del Sol, Charlotte DeRoven, Irene Rosenthal Dick, Irene Druten, Herman Ehrlich, David Farr, Beatrice Fabric Broder, Bill Feinstein, Fortuna Feldman, Shirley Feldman, Samuel Ferks, Jeanette Flansbaum, Lee Famalant, Melba Rosalind Franklin, Marilyn Curry Fricks, Judy Gelfand, Irving Gans, Dorothy Gold, Millicent Heyman, Aaron Harris, Carol Harris, Andrea Lehman Heft, Irving Heitner, Alan Hirschfield, Ruth Jacobs, Michael Jaffe, Joshua Kaplan, Nancy Capson, Milton Kifferstein, Edward Lee Cosberg, Anna Rose Levitt, Bernard Seymour Levin, Erwin Liebman, Eileen Littman, Murray Loderman, Helene Gettleson Lopez, Richard Lutz, Lyubov Mechevskaya, Anna Smithline Magnin, Donald Isaac Magnin, Rabbi Edgar Magnin, Diane Marks, Jerry Markman, Marvin Burton Meyer, Rose Meyer, Elliot Miller, Tom Mintz, Lisa Nesbitt, Carolyn Pappert, Rose Mills Pepper, Florence Perlov, Theodore Peterman, Quincy Plattis, Alvin Plotkin, Harold Polikoff, Phyllis Prescott, Anita Rabinovich, Riva Raz, Louise Richards, Meyer Rosen, Bernard Roth, Faye Savad, George Sobolski, Miriam Wolfson Shapiro, Hilda Shaw, Leon Sherman, Jean Soroti, Samuel Simon, Rudolph Sims, Joseph Seneko, Norman Sklar, Meyer Slifkin, Sophie Solitar, Maya Sverdlik, Jesse Ward, Joe Werwind, Anna Zimmer. Are there any other names to add? Thank you. Thank you. We also remember those who gave their lives defending the United States of America and the state of Israel, and those who died in senseless violence, terrorism, or disease, and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. We take them all as our own. Please turn to page 294 and rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agala v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah v'barach le'olam u'lemei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'ela mikal birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiram v'yalma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Oh, it's so good to be back here and to be with our musicians, our amazing musicians. Bill Beck on piano, Jordan Ross on percussion, Mike Nelson, saxophone, Leo Shoyapa, clarinet, saxophone, duduk, and Hope Easton on cello. Thank you so much for lifting up us to the heavens. Shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom min harumah, yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom min harumah. Shalom, shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Please join us for Kiddush and Motzi at the table in the back. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't that a great story?
I love it.
That's beautiful. Okay. Hi.
I'm breaking my face to get those dollars. Yeah. Oh, that cello, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. Just like it was. We never left.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'afel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon mikilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit kilu yom tchilah למקרא קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, אהבה ורצון, נחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. It's a delicious grape juice. L'chaim. Now. You don't like sliced challah? Come up and pull off. We're going to do it right now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Come and get it.
I miss